There we go. Okay, this is the 8x8 listing smart plan workshop. If we end up with extra time, then I will also teach a Facebook ad campaign. Yeah, a smart plan. If not, then I'll do that at a later date as well. Okay, let me share my screen. As soon as it does what I tell it to do. Having my face blown up there is not my friend. Me either. I had to get over that real quick. Okay. So first I'll say, if you will email me and ask for the listing smart plan, I will forward this email to you. It does have a Word document with everything that I say. It also has the pictures that are on the top of the emails. I put the pictures at the top. They just looked a little more professional as they went out and kind of told them what it was. I'll let you know what the touches are, and you're welcome to edit any of these if you want to. So the first day one, I would have it start on the day that I listed the property. And so the first one that I did was just an email that said, you know, thank you for listing with us. You can make it say I or us, we, team. You can go either way with it. And set their expectation that I'm going to call them weekly and just check in with them, but come back and let me know if they had any concerns or questions. And so this is an automatic email that would go out that first day. And you're just adding them to a smart plan. I'll show you how to set these up. And then on day two, I had them fill out this personal profile. And the reason I did the personal profile was there's some things you don't get from a seller on the listing agreement. You want to set them up on a birthday smart plan, so that's a reason to call them and make them feel like you value their. But you don't get that. And so I set up a Google form, and I'll show you how to do that. With the link here so that they could go in and fill out, and it had different questions on there. You know, are there any other email addresses or phone numbers that you want us to have? Because maybe you only got the one on the listing agreement. Is there, do you prefer to be contacted via text, phone, or email? Because you want to contact them the way they prefer. Just there were a bunch of different questions. Birthdays, were there any, you know, spouses, kids, that kind of thing. And that way we would have all of that information. So that went out on day two. It's not that they all did it. Most of them did though. I made sure it wasn't that long. I can show you how to set that up as well. So on day three, I told them staging tips and tricks. So there was just a couple, three little tips. Curb appeal, told them to make sure that the lawn is mowed, declutter, and pack away your personal photos so that.
Yeah, I do that before I list it.
Yeah, but sometimes they don't do it immediately. Yeah. And sometimes I would find after the pictures, they put them back up. Because they lived there. Mm-hmm. So this also told them that we wanted the buyers to come in and picture them in the house, not you in the house. So I picked the top three things that if I could have a seller do only these three things, it would help the showings.
So it's just a reminder after
the agent
has told them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it helps the seller feel like they are involved in the process. They are doing something to help.
In a document, kind of like what we do, would probably get lost somewhere, maybe. And then the email will remind them.
Right. And then day four, another email went out with the top three showing tips. So I did a lot of research, and the top three things that I could find is to keep the all the lights on, especially now when you don't want people, touching as many things as possible. And to open all of the shades and make sure it's light and bright in the house. Cleanliness, make sure it's show ready every day before they go to work so that they're not calling going, I didn't do the dishes this morning, I got to run home. And to leave for showings.
And this is automatically set up, so you don't have to personally do it.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they get a small little touch every single day for the first week when they're the most anxious and worried about what they can do to help their home.
Well, and we're all aware for years that some of the biggest complaints of buyers and sellers is they never heard from their agent.
Communication.
Right.
Communication.
So I'm not bombarding them through the life of the listing. After the first week, it's just a once a week phone call. This is what we're seeing in the market. This is our suggestion. If you're looking for a price reduction at that point, that would be a good time to bring it up. What's their why for moving? Do they need to move quickly? If so, maybe we do need to do the price reduction because you've only had one showing this week and you should have had more. So the weekly touch after that, but the first one is when they're so anxious. And if you're touching them, giving them ways to help.
Like moving along.
Yes. Yeah. So they feel not over communicated with yet. If this continued for 30 days, you'd probably over communicate, but the very beginning is when they're most concerned. And it's hard to remember that, at least for me, that I've done this for a long time. I've sold a lot of houses. So I know the process. So what do you mean you didn't know you need to leave the house for showing? But for them, this is probably the first time they've sold their property.
Well, and just doing the listing, we inundate them. We overload them with a lot of information.
Mm-hmm. Right. And even if you talk about it at the listing appointment, they probably only retained a couple of things. Yep. So if you give them the top 3 one day and the next day another top 3, maybe you might get 50% of that actually in. So I worded some of this the way I wanted it to be, but a lot of it I did just gather from websites. I did a lot of research on that. Day 5 is about the time you've probably already had a showing or 2, hopefully, and you've probably received at least 1 feedback. So I didn't want this email to come too early in the process. It's asking if they're receiving the feedback. And it's telling them you'll get an email. It's to the email address you gave us at the listing appointment. Do you see it? If not, then we had a problem. I need to go make sure that works.
That's one of the things that I have really, really been impressed with the changeover from CSS to showing time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they send the weekly stats, the showing stats. I'm getting a lot more feedback than I used to get.
Mm-hmm.
Are you seeing that, Candy?
I cannot stand showing time.
Mm.
I have a very hard time finding stuff on it.
Oh, I'm still learning it.
It's
Yeah.
so hard
Yeah.
for me. But I do get feedback on it. I do. And I like the fact that the client gets it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they automatically send it out.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. So this just tells them if you know that they've gotten, so this will go out automatically. And if the seller says, I haven't gotten any, and you look and they haven't had a showing, then I go back and say, yeah, you haven't had a showing just yet. We just want to make sure that you're aware that's the way you're going to get the feedback when it comes. Keep an eye out. And then I'll just watch in the first feedback that I see come through, I'll call and make sure that they got it. Most of the times, if they weren't getting it, there was a setting wrong or a mistype in their email address. So we just wanted to make sure that they were receiving their feedback, because that's another touch to them where they feel like they are getting information and value. On day 6, when the houses are staying on the market a lot longer, I might not include this. But by day 6, if you've priced it right, you may have started to get some interest, and they're starting to think about what comes next. So I had a touch of, this is what's going to happen once your property goes under contract. And this one will need to be formulated for whether it's a team or a individual. If it's an individual, okay, when I receive the offer, I'm going to give you a call. We're going to negotiate the terms. This is what the option period is, so that they're familiar with the option period before you get the offer. That way they can retain a little bit more as well. I also set them up with when the inspector comes, it's going to be, 4 hours. You need to not be there, and then there would be a negotiation. They're listening at this point. When you come with the terms of the offer, they're going to be overloaded again with information and only retain a certain amount. So preparing them ahead of time can be of value. On day 7, I set up on the Smart Plan a task to remind me to call the seller and just give them an update. Have we received an offer? No. Have we had any showings? If we haven't had any showings in the first 7 days, maybe we need to look at reducing the price. What's their motivation? That kind of thing. And then on the 8th day, it reminds me to start them on a weekly call. That way, it was, on a big team, remembering to call every single seller, that was hard once a week. So, and by doing it on day 8, they're not all being called on the same day. Because if you've got 20 properties, calling 20 sellers on the same day is rough. But by reminding myself on day 8, that's going to stagger them out a little bit. And so that's my plan. If you want a copy of this, just email me and ask for it, and I will forward it. And how we get them into Command is we wait for my computer to think. So we do, if everybody, in case somebody doesn't know, if you click on the red KW up here, you get words. So you don't have to remember what the icons look like just yet. Right. I don't quite understand why there's not a setting to keep the words there. But I think they just have other things they're working on right now that maybe take precedence. Bless you. But if you click on Smart Plans, we're going to go in and we're going to create a new Smart Plan. Up until a couple of months ago, you weren't able to create your own Smart Plans. You could only edit them. Well, looky there. I'm getting a look into what's coming. Listing Smart Plan, so I can tell it it's a listing Smart Plan. Hopefully we'll be able to put it in there. So if we click on create, we're going to name it. I always name my new listing plan. That way I knew that one was new, because you may have one that you want to create later that's maybe preparing for a price reduction plan, where you could send them a couple of emails here and there strategically about when you're priced out of the market and what conditions show you that you're priced out of the market. And
Is there stuff in Command that shows you like templates that you can send them that say that?
not currently.
These are kind of like templates, right?
So there are these right here. These are templates. What's coming in the very near future is like me creating this listing Smart Plan. I can share it company-wide. And so at that point, yeah, you'll be able to grab other people's stuff. And then after that, you'll be able to sell them through Command. If you put a lot of time and effort into it and you want to sell your Smart Plan for $10 or whatever it is, you'll be able to sell them, and they'll be able to look and say, ooh, that's really nice. Yeah, I'll pay $10 for that. So, but that's more in game.
Is there a listing one in there?
I don't think
packet
there is one
presentation?
yet. Not for a listing packet. In Designs, there is the listing packet we talked about, but so I'm going to click apply.
Candy, we can go if you're ready to go. Yeah.
To send out, okay. I need to do one more extra.
All right, so currently the only way to do this is to trigger manually, but you know some of the other systems, when a lead comes in from a certain source, you could have it, you know, when it comes from Facebook, start this Facebook smart plan. That's coming. We don't have it just yet. Currently, the only way to assign it is to manually put it on there, but that's okay for this one anyways. So the first thing I'm going to do is trigger new action. And I wanted to, my first one was to send an email. So I am going to,
Go send me.
there we go. So on day one, so number one, where it says right here, number one, I want it to send an email. Okay. We'll do simple. When they reply, it'll go to my email address in the subject line. Now here's, you're already lost.
Okay, so it's reply to Patty Barron, okay. And then-
Yeah, no, you're doing good. So subject line, you can either type this, or if you have the Word document with you, you can copy and paste it as well. So my day one, if you want to follow mine, was welcome. Okay, so I can come in and copy and then go back to the smart plan and I can paste. Or I can type it in, either way.
I
Okay,
don't have the document on me.
that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay. If you want me to forward it to you, I can. It'll be a little easier.
okay.
Let's do that real quick.
Well, I don't even have,
You don't have Word?
well, I don't have Word on this.
I
do
can
on-
copy and paste it just as text in the email as well, if you'd like.
I don't know where it's going, but where am I gonna pick it up?
It'll be in your email.
And you can copy it from
Mhm.
there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Let me copy it real quick and send it to you. This was why I saved it as a Word document, because it moved around a few times with different agents I was with and different systems we were on.
Yeah.
You know, we joined one time and Market Leader really didn't like this too well. Because I wanted the pictures in there and did not want that. Okay, so Patty, can you tell me your email address? This one doesn't
Patty
remember.
Barron at KW.
PATTYBARRON@kw.com. That's what I thought, but my computer downstairs remembers. So, and we'll do listing smart plan. There we go. It even has the pictures. All right. So now if you'll go to your email,
Well, I don't see it up here on, let's push it. It should be in here, is it? It's on the banner at home.
is it
It's not here.
is it Gmail?
Yes.
That's Gmail. Sometimes the icon looks different.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So if you'll open that email, then you'll be able to copy each little part that you want and paste it in there.
So much easier with the mouse.
Yeah.
I hate this thing.
That's why I got this little
Yeah.
thing right here, even for
I'll
my
do it
little
at home.
surface.
I
Okay.
can't do it from here.
What's
that I'm
wrong?
aware of.
Do
I mean,
what?
I put copy, but it just highlighted 2 words.
Yeah. It gets a little different.
You have
So,
to like drag it with your
Yeah.
And I don't use a first name.
yeah, you might actually want to do this at home just because you don't have a mouse. But you'll want to like go right here and you click and drag at the same time.
Okay. Well, there I learned something.
There you go.
And then you can right click. and copy.
Would you mind sending it to me? real quick?
Sure.
Sorry.
I'll send it to you in the Word document.
Okay.
It also has the pictures attached in case you get in there and
Sure.
decide that,
Oh, I
Oh,
clicked the body of the thing and it took me a whole different. to a
okay,
second.
hold on 1 second. Let me forward this. What's your email?
It's Carla, CARLA.
Mhm.
What is it? Real estate,
At real estate.
at real estate Denton
Dot
dot
biz.
biz. Not but, bus.
Biz. Basically zebra.
B-I-Z.
Uh-huh.
Does that look right?
Yep.
Okay. I'm just going to forward it to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. And if you're watching this later, you're welcome to email me as well.
Okay.
I'll keep it in there. Okay, so let's go to the top. And then I'll come back over there. We're going to copy that and we'll go back to our smart plan. And we're going to click in the body where it says, here goes your email. It's not really great English, is it?
Here goes your email.
It's not wonderful English, but okay, we'll go with it. All right. If you had a picture, a welcome banner or something you wanted to put there, you could do that as well. And then I would personalize what you want your email signature to look like as well. I used to have mine in there. And then you'll go to new action. And I'll come over and help.
Thank you so much.
Well, you did the copy thing and then I came over here.
Put it in here. Here goes your email.
Here goes your email.
Good worded.
And then you can.
Hey, Diana, do you want me to put these sandwiches in the fridge?
You can, or I'll take it down after. Either one's fine. Okay.
I'll put it in the fridge downstairs.
Yeah.
So my issue is, I don't even know these commands.
So
Like a lot of things.
the right click is the.
Yeah.
You want me to put it over there? I go down.
This is the left click and that's the right click. And you just press them. These are amazing though. I carry them around. I mean, this is a tablet and I still have a Bluetooth mouse
See,
to
I
go.
probably need to do that too.
Mhm.
I just need to get one for this.
Yeah.
I use a mouse at home, even though, never mind, I don't have a touch screen on mine.
Okay. And then I'm going to click the little blue check mark at the bottom.
Here?
Yeah. Okay. Just to tell it, yes, save that.
Okay.
So I'm done with day one. Day one has happened. And I'm going to do a new action. So over here on the right hand side, if you'll scroll up, we're going to do send an email again. So you just click on it.
Okay.
I think. Yep. And even though it didn't show me it did it, it actually did put down below day one a day two. So if you'll scroll down.
Okay.
And so number 2 means day 2.
Okay.
Okay. So the next thing that I did, if you go to your email, is the personal profile. Now, if you don't want to send this, you can just totally skip it. If you do, what you need to do is go to Google Forms. So let's go to Google. And I'm not gonna step you through how to do this one because
I have no idea where you've just gone either.
I just went to Google and
I don't go to Google for anything. other than
Google
my
Forms.
email.
okay. I'm going to talk to them about this real quick in case they're in, and then I will come back and we can skip this step. You can also, in the body of the email, say, for my database, if you could answer the following questions, you know, I'd be grateful. Can you give me the birthdays? Are there any other phone numbers? Anything like that. Google Forms is just a way of doing it to where it's fillable. It's kind of like a survey. Yes.
Online, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And then you can export that as a spreadsheet
See,
later.
and that takes away all that manual stuff I've done over the years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. So, but if you wanted to set up this email and just say, you know, for my database, I like to have everybody's phone numbers. Do you have any or additional phone numbers or email addresses. Are there
Well,
any
when
birthdays?
you were mentioning this before, I mean, knowing that we're in the age of digital signatures, everybody has to have their own email
Yep.
address, right?
Mhm.
So, I mean, why wouldn't you just get this when you go do the listing?
Well, sometimes what I found, and the reason I put that in there, is they give an email address and they wish they had given you a different one later.
True.
So I've had where maybe they gave the work one at the time of the listing appointment because they just blurted it out. But then by the time it got back to me, they were thinking to themselves, "Ooh, I really don't want the sale of my house on the company servers. I really wish I had given them my personal." So that gives them a chance to redact the email they gave me before, and we can switch everything over. And sometimes when I got back, when they got back, I realized that they had only gotten one email address, and I need the.
So what do you have to do to go to Google? What do you have to do to go, when you go to Google Forms, to start creating forms?
So I went to Google and I just searched Google Forms,
Mhm.
and this is what came up.
Okay.
Since you have a KW email address, you have access to free forms. And you can use Google Docs, Sheets, Slides, Forms. There's a bunch of them that you have access to. So if you go to Google Forms, which is the blue button there, and you'll verify that it's you apparently. Yep, that's me. Yep, that's me. I love it remembering my password.
See, and that's something too. I mean, let me give you an example of how convoluted and screwed up I can have my devices. And what I did years ago, I couldn't tell you what I did.
Mm-hmm.
But I get a message on my phone
Mm-hmm.
for me to enter my Apple ID. Well, number one, I don't have it memorized, and I don't buy things.
Mm-hmm.
Just go buy things.
Right.
So I wait till I get in the office, I look it up, and I put it in there, and then I start. I left it go for a few days. That's right. And then I would get a reminder about every other day, something about entering my Apple ID. And I finally did it when I got the message that somebody was using my ID on FaceTime and some other service, and I thought, what in God's name? So I entered it. And I think I did it on I don't even know which device I did. I think I did it on here.
Mm-hmm.
Then I get an email, or I get something from somebody on my iPad. You've changed the password. And I'm going, what?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
this is the story of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And because, it's just hit and peck. Don't know what the hell I'm doing.
It's all right. You're getting there, Patty. You're doing really well.
Girl.
Okay, so when I went to Google Forms, it automatically brought me to a blank one. This is something that will take time to perfect the way you want it.
Okay.
But the first question is here, so you could say.
It would be like doing a Word doc that's editable.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Not that I've done.
Mhm.
But
Have you ever taken a survey online?
not that I remember.
If you've ever answered one of the surveys that the office has done, they're set up like this. It's kind of like Survey Monkey, but yeah.
Okay,
So
yeah.
you can
Consumers report.
mhm. So I can say, what is your birthday? Okay, so then have that be question number one. And it automatically understood, okay, you probably want a date in there. So it changed the fillable place right here to a date. So that's easy. You can make it required. I didn't make any of them required. Okay. And then we could hit add a question. And we could say, what is your spouse's
So this is like doing a Word document, but
birthday?
it would be one that's all digital.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So instead of having paper, this is online for you to get anytime, and it doesn't get lost. Again, I said birthday, and it said, "Oh, you want a date?" So it filled in a date. Then you could say, what is your preferred method of contact? Okay, and then this, we would want to leave up multiple choice, and you could say option number one, you could say phone call. Option number two, we could say text.
And that's the way I'm seeing people
Mhm.
want to interact anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I just went through a very, very difficult listing, probably the top two of my career.
Mm-hmm.
Finally got that sucker closed on Friday. And our entire transaction is on text. Do I transferred it to anything? No. Can I do that more than what just shows up on here at one time? I might be able to get it.
Probably can, yeah. Yep. Otherwise, screenshotting might be a good idea, but at least you have you do have written record of
I do.
everything that was said. It's better than phone call sometimes.
Well, and I do. I tried to make sure I got everything in writing specific with this jerk.
Yeah. And here you've got them telling you their preferred method of contact in writing. So when they come back and say, "You only ever text me," you can say, "Well, you told me to." Yeah, that was your preferred method.
Yeah.
So you just fill this out. I named this right here, personal profile. I did try to not double up. If it's highly likely you got their phone number and their email address, then I didn't really ask for it here, other than maybe, is there an additional email address for you would prefer that we use?
Well, if I'm doing a personal profile for a listing, I'm gonna put seller one,
Mhm,
seller two,
mhm.
just like you see on a contract.
Yes.
And that way it's gonna encourage each of them putting in their own
Right.
email addresses and.
The way that I did it was, I assumed that seller one was the person filling it out. And so everything I wanted to ask about the other one, I said spouse's preferred email address, spouse's phone number. And that way it differentiated.
Sure.
So whatever one, you get this down to the way you want it. And then you can, I believe, let me find it. It's been a minute since I saved one. There is a way to, maybe it's send. Yes. So when you click send, you can actually get this right here is a hyperlink to this. It's getting a little technical, but you only have to do it once. So I copy this. That is the web address to that particular form.
Okay.
So when you go into your Word document, when we pull this over, I'll change this click here to that particular one. And so everybody gets the same one, but they don't see anybody else's answers.
But if I'm coming back a week later and I have another listing, from that hyperlink, how am I gonna know that this is the personal profile that I'm needing to attach to this email?
You only do it one time when you're setting this up. And then what happens is after they fill it out and click save at the end, you get an email from Google Forms saying you have a client who filled it out, and there's a link to their responses. And there's way more powerful stuff you can do on the techier end, but you don't even have to ever do any of that. But if anybody wants to know the things you can do with that, you can email me. So on day 2, I'm going to call this the personal profile. I did take a little bit more time on that one because it is so powerful. The rest of them really are just cutting and pasting the information. So on day 2, I'm coming in and under subject, I am pasting personal profile. And then I'm going to go back to my Word document and I'm going to copy And I'm going to paste it here. May not take my pictures. Don't be mean. That picture may not actually be working. I don't know. Oh, I may have to do HTML. That might be why.
I'm so far behind you.
No. Okay. We can work on the pictures later. The pictures may not be working. I haven't actually put this one in command yet, so pictures may not be working yet. I would think they were.
I don't even have the questionnaire, the personal profile.
That's all right.
Huh?
That'll take some time to set up. So I would take some time to set that up if you're wanting to do that. Otherwise, you can just type in the email. Here's some things I like to have in my database. Can you give me your birthday, your spouse's birthday?
A document that I already have.
You can do that as well.
Yeah.
Yep, you can do that as well.
Granted, we're all trying to move toward digital, and it'll be like, help Patty and drag her along.
It's all right. I told you to learn one thing at a time. You're doing a good job of that. So I highlighted click here, and I clicked on this link right here. It looks like a chain to show link, and I'm just going to paste and I think I need to go back and get it. So let me do that real quick. I'm going to copy this and come back and highlight where you want the link to be and paste it in there. Okay. So now that's a hyperlink that they'll be able to fill out on Google Forms. All right, then I'm going to click save. My next one.
Oh, I've had enough for today.
It's just the steps.
Yeah. I mean,
So once you've done one, you're just copy and pasting the rest.
So is there somewhere I can go to get these, or
Yep, I emailed them to you.
all of them?
Yep, in that email is the list of each day. So
Okay.
you're just pasting them in there. The only one that you may need to edit, read all of the wording because it was written for a team, and so it may say we instead of, it may talk about a contract to close person. So just make sure it sounds like you. I did, so it says number 2. I forgot to say that we need to actually tell it to go on day 2, which, so that's day 1. How do we tell it day 2? Move down, delete, save. That's a good question. Oh, you do have to tell it to set delay. And I missed that, guys. I'm sorry. So I just clicked on set delay of 1 day. So now I'm going to click this move up button, which I'm not really sad about because I get to show you this move up button. So we need to set a delay in between of 1 day. So it's going to send the welcome email, and then we're going to set a delay of 1 day. And no, move up. Welcome. Come on. Actually move up. It's not actually moving up. Move down. Oh, well, that didn't make any sense. I had to say move down in order to move it up 1 space. All right, so we've got the welcome email on day 1. We're going to set a delay of 1 day, and then we're going to send it to the welcome email. It's messing with me.
Yeah, I pulled that
There we go.
Forms, and just, of course, Morton did the search. I don't want to fill in PDF forms. Is that it? Is that what I want? Or just this?
Google Space Forms. And it's a copy. And make that say Google instead of Google.
Okay.
OOG. There we go. Oh. There we go. Okay, so then click enter.
And I just have, I need to do some reading.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, if you want to do that. If not, you can always attach your PDF form instead. So, okay, so now I've done the second one. And from here, I'm going to click set delay so that at the bottom, we can delay another day. And then follow this through the form, as many as you want. The next one that I did was the staging tips like we spoke about before. And just gave them an idea of some to-do things that they could do during the showing. And then I would set a delay and go to day 4. Now let me show you how to set a task reminder, because that's a little different than the email. So on day 7, I did a reminder to call the seller and touch base, so that when I log into Command or Kelly, they're going to give me a notification that I need to call the seller on 123 Main Street just to check in. Oh, I don't have to remember. So after day 6, I would set the reminder, and then I could say create a task or make a call. Either one is going to set a reminder. So I'm going to say create a task. I click on it one time and it puts it down at the bottom. And I'm going to give it a name. Call seller to give an update and check in. Okay. And set it that it's due today. Now what that's going to do is Kelly should give you a reminder as well, but it will also trigger a task in on your dashboard. And I'll show that at the end because I have to leave here to get to it. But when you first log in, there's the task bar at the top.
And mine always said you have none today.
Yeah, yeah. I actually did one for my husband so that I would always have a task there, so I can show you what it looks like. It tells me to call him, and it says it's like 3 months overdue. So it's kind of funny. It's like I never call him. But then we can click save. And then I would set another task reminder to set them on a weekly call plan. And all you would do for that is create another one and tell it, call seller on day 1, delay 6 days. Call seller, delay 6 days, and tell it to repeat. So it's just a simple repeated smart
and
plan.
more than likely, unless we were like back in 2008, 9, and 10, we are in contact with them.
Mhm.
We really are.
You are, yeah. And you can, the brilliant thing about it is you could say, yeah, I did that. I talked to them yesterday. They're good. I don't need to remember to do that. But if you haven't talked to them, it's probably a good idea to proactively give them a call. So I needed as many reminders as I possibly could to be as efficient with my time, because I didn't have the time to sit down and go.
Well, yeah, especially when you're doing a lot of volume. I mean, oh my God, it can get overwhelming. I know what I'm like with 2, anymore.
Yeah. Okay, so if you had Twilio set up, you could have it text for you. That's part of it.
And I'm seeing in the last couple years, and I'm an old email girl, I pick up the phone or email clients, but I mean, everybody wants to do business by text.
Yeah, the millennials especially, and Gen Z, as my daughter likes to call herself, they prefer text. They really do.
Yeah.
That's not to say that they never want you to call them. They do. But they would prefer, if it's a small update or a small thing, just to be texted rather than call.
And see, as a grandparent,
Mhm.
because I don't overdo it, but I try to stay in touch with my 19-year-old grandson, who up until March was away at college for his
Mhm.
first year. And of course, he's like, just into this constantly.
Mhm.
And yet when you're around him, he's one of the most loving, present young men you'd ever want to be around. But
Yeah.
5 minutes is too long and he's off on his devices again. He'd never respond.
Yeah.
They don't respond.
Oh, I'm terrible about that too.
Ah!
Because what happens is, the phone will ding and you'll look at it and go, I don't have time yet. And you set it down and you forgot that ever came through. So I'm a culprit of that. I did see something up here that will actually make this easier. If you've already set up a weekly call smart plan, you can click add to smart plan here and it'll automatically put them on the weekly
I don't
small.
know anybody on Smart Plan.
Right.
Now, I've got a couple prospective buyers.
You do? Didn't we put somebody on the neighborhood nurture?
Well, back when we were trying to learn to do ads,
Mm-hmm.
and I ended up spending $80, and if I had to do an ad today, I wouldn't know how the hell to do it. And I just quit. But I think we probably did, but that was months ago.
Okay.
And I've got a lady who's not ready to be put on one of these because she's got a condo to sell in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
She's living here in Frisco, I think, with her kiddos, and wants to live in Denton.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been communicating it with her, and now we're friends on Facebook. But I get turned off when people overload me,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm respectful of that. So
Yeah.
I'm not ready to do that.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
The good one to put people on is the neighborhood nurture. They get an email about their neighborhood monthly. So it's not
It would be all of Denton. She just wants to live in Denton.
yeah.
And
Well-
she's on my website,
Mhm.
but and I've invited her to let me set her up a search. She's not ready.
Not
She
ready.
knows she's got a condo to do. and
Yeah.
So I'm just developing the relationship,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and we'll go from there.
Yeah, that's perfect.
We're now, as of this week, now we're friends on Facebook.
Oh, that's good.
You know where I picked her up?
Hmm.
Picked her up on one of the Facebook Living in Denton deals, and I got a notification,
Mm-hmm.
and I responded. And just kind of told her a little, I said, I'm a senior as well. I'm also a retired RN,
Mm-hmm.
and would welcome any questions you have about the area. It just kind of went from there.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, it was probably age related.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, once you have done all of your touches that you want to do, you'll click save. And it has been saved. So now it should be in our,
That should be in our arsenal, right?
in our arsenal. Yep. I don't know if I've saved it. I don't know. It should be out here. Let's see where it is. We got another page. New listing smart plan. So it's right here. If I don't have anybody on this currently, that's the key word,
Mhm.
and I want to change it, I can click on the pencil. I can trash it. I can make a copy of it so I can edit it, maybe a new luxury listing. If you wanted to do one specifically for that, you could. And you can also put contacts on here from the little person with the plus sign.
So I'm behind you again.
Mhm.
So if I look at what I've got here, 1 day, 2 steps, 2 touches,
Mhm.
if I save that, I can go back in and create the other
Mhm.
ones.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
okay.
do save, and then you'll find it in your smart plan list when you click on smart plans, and you'll do the little pencil and you'll be able
Please
to.
fill out all. It went away. It was a red banner. It was there and it was gone.
Okay.
Up here.
Let's
Let me try it again. Please complete all required fields.
This one we haven't done anything with,
Okay.
so let's see. This will refresh.
So what do they want now then?
Well, they're just saying you haven't done anything with this step. So I'm trying to see if there's a way to like. Oh, really? messed up. So we'll do send an email. Where's your email? I messed up and deleted yours.
Well, I don't remember where it is.
It's
Okay.
Let me fix it real quick. And we can at least save it with the one stuff. And then when we save it over here, and I'll save that to your list.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Cool. Baby steps.
Yes, yep. All right, and then you can add contacts from here, but you can also, under the contact themselves, there's a smart plan tab and you can add them from there as well. Let me show you real quick before class is over where you will find the task. So this is the home page when you go to agent.kw.com. And I have my tasks on the top because I want to be reminded when I call in every single day to call my husband.
So I go to the home page, right?
Yes. Click on the little picture of the home that's under the red KW box on the left.
Yeah, I'm in tasks.
And the task is there. It reminds you, it just says call and check in with them or whatever you set it up. And it has the person associated with it.
It'll have their name.
It'll have their name, yeah.
Cool. Yeah,
Mhm.
cool.
Yep. And then when you're done, you can just click the little check box and it takes it off your to-do list and marks it as done.
Diana, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You are so patient. Were you born with all this patience?
I have 4 children, and so
Oh, my goodness, yes, you are. Oh, bless your heart.
bye. I don't think anybody was in, but